Hello, my name is Beth McDonald Stone. I'm an avid knitter and knitwear designer coming to you from Bermuda. I hope everyone's well. It's definitely well into spring here, starting to feel Eastery. In Bermuda, we used to be really known for growing Easter lilies, and I just bought one today. So the Easter lilies are out. I've got it in a pot. So it'll keep on going through the season, and I'm really excited with that. Easter lilies and Bermuda are very synonymous. Um, in the 1800s and early 1900s, we used to have fields of them. I'll just leave it there, it's so pretty. Anyways, fields being not fields, what place everywhere else would call fields, they'd be called like kitchen gardens, but anyways, we're a small island. Anyways, we used to produce Easter lilies and export them to the eastern seaboard and to the Queen, who, and I don't know if that's been kept up with the King, but the Queen always got some Bermuda Easter lilies at Easter time. So maybe I've done, last year I did a bit of an episode, a special part of my episode talking about that. Maybe I'll do that again, or just, go around to, there's one lovely farm field in Devonshire, which is sort of a central parish that way. Not far from here, but they have beautiful, beautiful fields of Easter lilies. So I should, Luna says hi. So I should go down and take some pictures for you so you can see just the rows and rows and rows. It's really beautiful, and it's a really fun time to be in Bermuda because we just do Easter well. But I don't want to talk too much about Easter because it's not Easter yet, but it's just in the air and it's feeling like it. It's a really humid day today. There's storms all around us. We had a really stormy thunder and lightning night last night, which is amazing. The windows were open. The sound is great. My husband can't sleep through it, so he didn't think it was that amazing, but I just love that the rain and the thunder and lightning. We don't get a lot of thunder and lightning here because there's not like a landmass for it to create the tension in the air, but it's just the average sort of over the sea kind of thunder and lightning. So it's not, I remember in Ontario when I was a kid, especially up in farm country, or not farm, cottage country, north of the city, there was a lot of heat lightning, and that was kind of common at night, which we don't have here, and I love it. So it was a really nice sleep, but it's really humid here today. So I'm going to break today's section into sections, and the first one will be the featured pattern, and then we'll talk about what's off my needles and what's on my needles, and there's a summer tee in the off my needles, which I will change into shortly. Yeah, and then we finished up the series on how I design and how I design a pattern for sweaters, right through from inspiration to publishing. That concluded in the last episode, I think it was episode 35. And there is a 5-part, so it started in episode 30, concluded in episode 35. There's a 5-part playlist, that's the word, on my, I'll say my Ravelry channel, my YouTube channel. If you're keen to, if you've missed any part of it, or if you're interested, it's there. So take a look in my YouTube homepage, I guess, channel homepage, whatever, all the terms. It's hard to keep them straight. Anyway, so that's there. We're finished that. So this week we're going to keep it light to just the usual stuff. And then I've just got some really simple sort of not still photos. I was standing still videoing one of the beaches just with the waves coming in and out. So I thought that would be a very simple ending. And there's my tummy growling. I hope you can't hear that. Anyways, so featured pattern of the week. It is, this is funny. When you write your notes and it looks totally perfect, and as soon as I sit down, I can see mistakes. Anyway, so featured pattern is 20% off. This is the Check Yourself Raglan in 2 different versions. It's 20% off, as all my featured patterns are for the first week. And I believe this is going out on April 4th. So my notes are wrong. It says to March 28th, which is already passed. So that's ridiculous. I believe Friday is the April 4th. Then it will be on sale, no coupon required on Ravelry until April 11th, Friday, April 11th, midnight Atlantic Standard Time. So it's cool. It's a great sweater pattern, and the test knitters were amazing. We had the really fun chat group going, and everyone's versions are so beautiful, and they're all so unique and distinct. I've knit mine both with quite a lot of positive ease because, as you know, I'm really into everything loose and just cozy these days, where some people also knit them with more fitted, and that looks really good too. So I'm really excited because the test knitters have really done such a beautiful job photographing it. What I'm trying to say is they've done put such unique twists on every one of them that you can see all the different sort of fits that might help you make your decision on how you'd like yours. That's that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm really appreciative of that and inspired. Man, if it wasn't getting so hot right now, I would maybe try another one. I've got so many ideas. And I think the exciting thing is what inspired me and what got this pattern going initially was when I was at Rhinebeck and going into one of the barns, the permanent barns, the 2-level permanent barn, there was Green Mountain Spinnery right in the door. And I saw this yarn, the changing color, red, pink, purple, black yarn right there. And it just sort of immediately gave me an idea. To me, it looked like the colors of a plaid, traditional tartan, Scottish tartan, and I just knew this is what I wanted to knit. And so there was like nanosecond, like that's it. Then I had to figure out how many skeins, make sure that I got the approval from my travel mate for Celia to make sure that I wasn't going on a crazy color tangent. And yeah, came back and I think cast on pretty much right away. I'm really into funnel necks too because I'm finding that it's a lovely way of finishing an outfit. I used to be very partial to wearing button-down shirts under everything or like a scarf and stuff. And this year I've, again, with my kind of more casual sort of easy vibe, I like a really interesting finish around the neck so that you don't have to add more, you know, when you're dressing up or whatever. So you can easily dress this up or dress it down. I think I wore this one around Christmas to Christmas events and stuff like that and felt very smart. This I think I knit after the new year. So, but I wanted, after the new year, I wanted to have something totally different. So while this is sort of the bold colors and the dark background and stuff, I wanted to knit it in a lighter, more pastel version so that you could see, because I thought that seeing it in this red with the black would kind of stamp it in a certain way, which is how I was inspired out, you know, very sort of specific look. And I really wanted to make sure that it was shown in a different look so that the whole color palette would be of an inspiration for you. And again, you can see that with the test knitters versions, again, the whole spectrum. So some similar to this, some light, some the greens and everything, and it's really fun. Some solid color background, some more variegated, you know, just the works. So do take a look at what the others have done because they are spectacular. So this is a top-down, what I call exaggerated raglan, so that the rate of increase is for the body, not the sleeves, is faster than the traditional raglan. Traditional raglans are every other round that you increase in the body and the sleeve. For my, what I call exaggerated raglans, I want more of a boxy fit, sorry. So I increase every round on the body and every other round on the sleeve. So the sleeve is a slightly different proportion. Let me just stand up for you so you can see. I've knit them in different, I think, body lengths. I think this one's a bit shorter because I was running out of yarn and I wanted to have a longer one also. So this is great. And, you know, again, perfect with like a French tuck if you want it, or out or whatever. I think it's a really, really fun design. And it's fun to knit because the rates of increase are standard through the thing, through the pattern. You can kind of get into mindless knitting. And this stitch pattern here is very easy. It's just a slipped stitch pattern. It's charted. I think there's only, if I can remember correctly, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4-row stitch pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stitches wide. Super easy. I have also charted the increases on the sleeve, so you don't even have to worry. You know, literally, you just go along, you mark where you are, and the pattern will tell you when and where to increase. It'll remind you for the sleeves, and it will remind you every time for the body. so that you can just enjoy the knit and do whatever else you like to do while you're knitting. If it's listening to an audiobook or watching TV, this is definitely the sweater for that. It's got engaging enough to be interesting and fun, but not like brain breaking where it's the only thing you can do at the time. So that's kind of my happy point there. Yeah. Anyways. So just to go through, so I mentioned that this is Green Mountain Spinnery, this multicolored background one, which I call the main color actually, because I think it's where you really get your inspiration, and then you find the supporting yarn for this color. So the main color here is Green Mountain Spinnery RAGG-TIME, color Armstrong. And then the contrast color here is Hudson Valley Fibers MOODNA, color Black Trumpet. Now, Hudson Valley Fibers MOODNA is one of my favorite yarns, but I had a break in purchasing it because I purchased quite a bit of it before, and then I had to order more for this. And it is a pure undyed yarn. So the colorway from the Black Trumpet sheep, flock, whatever, that they're getting, the black wool changes dramatically each year. So I actually had to over dye it a little bit. So when you can see here that it's darker down here and a bit lighter up there, I don't think you really would notice it if you like stop me on the street or whatever, but I did have to, I think this is, one of them was very, very, very much lighter, so I over dyed it. It might have been this is what I over dyed and it got darker. And you know, I'm not a professional dyer. Yarn dyers are fantastic, and it's an art form in itself. I just sort of try. Anyway, so it's a bit different. So with the Hudson Valley Fibers MOODNA, just make sure you get all you need at one time, because it'll likely, if a year goes by, likely be a different shearing, so different base color. But it's an amazing yarn, and I've used it so much in different things, different patterns, different designs, and also just other designs that I've knit from other designers. I really, really, really love the RAGG-TIME from Green Mountain Spinneries, and I will definitely be looking when I hopefully get back to Rhinebeck this fall for what other colorways they do, because I think it's really special. I like their long color changes. It was really lovely to work with. It wears beautifully. I did wear this a lot in the winter. So yeah. Anyways, oh, sleeve wise, I think I did mostly 3/4 sleeves. These are heavier sweaters. I was also thinking of the sort of the 1960s vibe, so I thought the 3/4 sleeves was sort of in keeping with that. They are really warm, and I usually wear long sleeve shirts underneath it, so if it pokes out the bottom, I can. But I also think wrists are really beautiful, so to show off a wrist is kind of elegant, especially when you've got a boxy sweater on. It sort of gives the sort of narrow to the boxy, if that makes sense, sort of a balance. So yeah, but again, do what sleeve works for you. If you live in a really cold climate and this is not enough, then full length would be fantastic. But yeah, I love it. I hope you do too. I'm really pleased with this one. I think I say that a lot with the designs, and that's good. I'm really pleased with it. I hope you like it. Oh, I didn't tell you about this yarn, and then I'll move on because I'm getting a little pink. I'm getting a little schwitzy. So the pink one here, this is the main color, so the pink is 2 strands held together. So this one I used Holst Garn Supersoft color Rosebud, so a pale pink solid Holst Garn, what I call my workhorse yarns. I get them in a cone, and I try to have a good broad palette so that I've got backup when I need it. And then you can see a little coloration, some speckles through, and that's with a mohair that I used alongside that, and that was from the Wandering Flock, and a mohair called Beach Party. And I liked it because it didn't have like an overall transition of color, but it had little blips, and I thought that was kind of exciting and pretty. So I'm really pleased with that. And the white, the contrasting color, is again one of my other favorite yarns. staple yarns, I would call it, is Harrisville Designs Daylights, and it's in the color Chirp. And that has little blue flecks in it, but you can barely see it. But yeah, so that's that. So that's a check Yourself Raglan. Details are always down below. And again, I think down below I'll have a link also to the Ravelry page, and snap up your copy of the pattern. It's a fun one, and it looks great on everyone. I think all the test knitters really enjoyed knitting it. We had a great chat. It was really fun. Yeah. So anyways, so hold on a minute. I'll be right back wearing a summer tee. One sec. Okay, I'm back and instantly feeling the breeze on my skin, which is great. So, finished objects. I'm going to start with this one in my lap, and I don't know if you had seen it earlier. It was sitting on my sofa, and I've been having it there. That's my place that I like to sit and knit, my favorite place. And so it was, once I cast this off, which I think was just on Sunday, I've had it draped on the sofa because it is so beautiful. So this is Stephen West's Awesomer Gossamer shawl, and it is awesome. Look at that border too. Isn't it great? It's just so simple, but the colors and everything, and the marling of the yarns, and the absolute weightlessness of this. And yeah, look at the light coming through. Isn't that amazing? All Stephen West design. I just used yarns that all mohair that I had in my stash. I'm really trying to stick with stash yarn right now. Let me see if I stand up. We can figure out how long it is. It's very big. I had no idea it was this big until I had bound it off. But wow, the chair's in the way. But really, really beautiful, and I love it. I'm so proud of it. And I so enjoyed, oh, look at that. Isn't that amazing? It really looks like a bird's wing, just how the light goes through it. And the sort of old shale sort of border. Really lovely. Yes, so Stephen West, he's amazing. I don't need to say anything more. And I really loved this because it was a really fun knit. I wouldn't say, I found that because I was using two mohair yarns together and they're really almost nothing on a needle, that I couldn't look away. I had to make sure that I picked up the 2 stitches and worked the 2 stitches. And so that, which was fine. Like it just wasn't a particularly fast knit, sorry. Every stitch had to be intentional. Totally fine. There's sort of 4 sections, I think. 5 maybe. You've got your sort of bind cast on here with a garter tab. You've got the I cords going along all the edges as you worked as you go. So you do one run through of your 8 colors, and then you start these little sort of what Stephen calls bubble stitches. Very simple. You work X many rows for the small ones, and then sort of pick up a stitch from, not pick up a stitch, but knit into the work below and pick it up to get the sort of bubbly effect. Then you move to the medium size. So instead of however many rows, I can't even remember, you increase a couple more and you have the medium size bubbles. And you work through that whole 8 color cycle. And then you have the large bubble stitches, and all the same, just more stitches in between each bubble and in the length of each bubble. Fantastic, really fun. And then the border is just, I would call it like an old shale, very simple lace, knit two together, and making yarn so that you've got the knit 2 together, which is the upper V, and then the increase is opens it up again. So you're just narrowing it and opening it, making a scallop shape. I have not blocked it. I don't think it needs blocking. I don't mind that the corners kind of curl up a bit. I just don't want to lose any texture if it would be pulled and stretched in any way. So I just think this is just amazing. The other thing, there's a lot of color changes, but mohair is so light that you just knit along with it. So at the end, all I did is snipped off all the little tails, and this won't budge at all. Fantastic. Awesome or gossamer. I just think it's the word that comes to my mind is diaphanous. I just think this is absolutely diaphanous. It's a great project. Fun stash busting. I did run out of one yarn, so down here at the border. So at one point I just kept longer with one of the yarns. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's great. Stephen West, again, I don't think he sees things too strictly by playing by the rules. Oh, and by the rules, until I could figure out how the little bubbles were lining up, I was all over the place in numbers for the first section. But once I could see that, you know, they basically each bubble bisects the former bubble, then I didn't have to worry about that anymore. But the first bubble area, I was kind of counting a lot of stitches, which slowed me down, but whatever. I'm not in a rush. It's not a race. And it's just, I'm so pleased with this shawl. It's lovely and, you know, great on the sofa there. The mornings have been chilly, so just putting it on my knees or whatever, it's been great while I've had my coffee and my first little knit of the day. What else did I want to say about this? Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is it is a fade. But I think what I would have, just using this circle as an example, if I were to do it again, I would see it as a fading circle. So like you might have the lightest and it might grow to the darkest and then darkest back down to the lightest, rather than light all the way around to dark. Because I'm not saying I dislike it, but you can see my darkest is sort of this black, but it's also marling with this white, where I think it would be really interesting. I don't think it would be better, but I think it'd be really interesting to do one where it's sort of that circle. So you've got light to dark and back to light, so that it's a fluid fade all the way through. I'd be really tempted to knit another one like that. And I'm not rushing to put this back on my, do another version of this on my needles, but I could see myself doing that in a year or so when I want just a really meditative knit, to have a different version, but also to play in a different way with color. I think that would be really interesting. So that's kind of my takeaway from that. You can't go wrong. It's a beautiful, beautiful design. And I'm really keen to put another of a Stephen West on my needles soon. He's got a really cool knit along coming up, or if it's not already, I think it started April 1st, so we're into April. Until mid-May, which is just a stash along, and using his any of his patterns, sweaters, shawls, whatever, socks, and stash driving. And if you have over 50% from your stash, you're part of the knit along, and there's probably prizes. I'm not really a prize focused person, but I thought that was really fun. And I found his designs are very perfect for stash busting and just being free with color and texture and weights and stuff like that. So I'm inspired. I've got a lot on my needles, so I might not cast on right away, but the sentiment's there, and I'll probably do that later. I am traveling, hopefully in the spring, and I just think it'd be a great travel knit. So we'll see. Anyways, so that was really fun. Stephen West. Oh, I forgot the name now again. Awesome or Gossamer. How can I forget the name? Oh, and I'm not going to list all the yarns and colors. They're all listed below. I'm not that person that remembers. So it's all written down below if you're interested. But this was all just stuff for my stash. It took me about 2 weeks to put it together. Not that I have a massive stash, but it just wasn't working. It just didn't click. And I had some really small scraps and big scraps, and I didn't have a plan how to deal with that. So I had on the table, and it was fun. My husband would walk by, he'd have some comments. My son would walk by, he'd have some comments, and then all of a sudden it just clicked, and yeah, and it was really fun to knit. So can't recommend that one enough. Awesome or Gossamer. I think also Stephen West, because of the knit along, I think his patterns are discounted right now too. So, if that means something to you, if that's now's the time. So that was my first finished object. My second finished object, and you've seen this mostly, it just had to be sewn together. And this is the Get Out of the Pool tee, and I've been wearing this all day. I've had appointments and stuff, and it's just been perfect. So get out of the pool tee, and this is the fingering weight version. This is using La Bien-Aimée Twist Nouveau. Is that right? That sounds Twist Nouveau Color Pop Grunge. And it's a really simple top. I've talked about it a lot, but very quickly in case you haven't seen my previous episodes. Get Out of the Tea Top was basically inspired by seeing a really amazing yarn when I was traveling last summer, and it was hand dyed, DK weight. Can't remember what it was called. So sorry. Again, it's all in the. It was published like an episode 35 or 34, the DK version, and I loved it. But I loved the yarn. But I didn't want to have like different pooling, you know, pooling in one way on the body and pooling in a different way on a sleeve. And but I liked the yarn. Like, so what I'm trying to say is I wanted to have the essence of the yarn, but not for the fabric that it created to be dramatically different between the different parts because of their knitted widths. So this is knit flat, and basically every width is roughly within a few stitches the same. So side to side for the front, just slightly bigger just to get a little dip in the neck, then the side to side to the back, and then the sleeves are basically the same width as your body, but knit, you know, for the sleeve in the round. So the pooling should be fairly consistent, and so therefore making your hand dyed yarns shine in all its glory. I like pooling, I like zigzags, but I kind of prefer if they're the same-ish all over the garment so that it's not distracting, like, oh, your sleeve looks so different from your body, or yeah, if that makes sense. The one part that it didn't really matter was this I-cord at the top, which you pick up after the fact, just to reinforce that, make that strong. I find when you sew knitwear together, joints can pull over time. So I just did an I-cord around the neck. The neck size is totally customizable because of course this is mattress stitched. So in my directions, I suggest that you this is the first stitching you do is the shoulders. And I would just say like, just do a bunch. I mean, I think in the pattern it said do approximately a third, but for the smaller sizes, maybe a bit less. But I mean, do like 5 or 6 inches and then just leave it live. Do the other side, leave it live. Mattress stitch here, so sleeve all the way down, mattress all the way down, and then put it on, try it on, and see how wide. If you want a nice boat neck, that's great. I find boat necks really accentuate this, which I talk about. This is not my favorite part of my body, so I've made mine a bit narrower so that it doesn't show my kind of upper back hump, whatever. If it's wider, it kind of does it for me, but so I do mine a little narrower. Again, all the test knitters, again, beautiful test knitting that in the DK version were amazing. So again, worth looking at that for inspiration. I'm going to be doing a test call for the fingering weight version, hopefully at the end of this week or next week. So I think my test call list is set for this one. So I hope that's okay. But if you are ever interested in test knitting for me for future work, do send me an email at knit@bmid.bm and I put you on the list, and it's really casual and it's really fun. And we have, like I said, great chats on Instagram, private chats. So it's really fun. Anyways, so this will go into testing in the next few days. And then hopefully I'll be able to publish it. I haven't even looked at the schedule, but we're in April, May, mid to late May. It's not a slow knit. It's not a particular, the fingering weight was a little slower than the DK weight, but I used this as my travel knitting, sort of like travel to the doctor, or travel overseas, because it was really quite mindless, and it worked out really well. But it took me a long time to knit it, just because it was never. My intention was always to publish this one in the early summer, so there was no rush. I think I even cast it on like September, so really no rush. And I think that's sort of the longest I've ever taken to knit something. But it's lovely to have something that is like, time is not really important. You're not trying to get it out in a window. So that's really good. So this is the Get Out of the Pool Tee fingering weight. And in May, it will be published. I'm hoping May, sometime, maybe June, it'll be published, and we can revisit that again then. So the third and final finished object this week is actually kind of it's turned into a bit of a series. In my last episode, I showed you a vest, a very fuzzy, lovely vest, drop sleeve vest that I really like and finished. And I was kind of calling it my Purple Haze. It's a working title because the third one that I'm knitting right now is not purple, it's green, but whatever. Still got to come up with a title for that. But so we'll just call it the Purple Haze collection. And the light purple vest was sort of tunic length, turtleneck, drop sleeve, really easy to knit. It is a bottom-up construction. There are decreases on the shoulder to give a nice slope to the shoulder, and then you work your neck. I wanted to knit it in a crop length in a size smaller so that you could see what the different ease looks like. So the first one I did with like a lot of ease, 12 inches. This one I've done with 7 inches of ease. The next one I'm doing with, again, I think back to 12 inches, but it might actually be a bit smaller. Anyways, so, and I wanted to show you different options because the other one was a vest. I wanted to add sleeves. So I've added sleeves here very easily. And I also wanted to show a more of a crew neck, the vest being a turtleneck. The third one I'm doing, it's on my needles, and can't you just see it? Anyways, this version I'm actually thinking of it not being cropped nor tunic, but more of a standard length. So it'll probably be another sort of inch or so here. It'll have sides split seams, a split hem, sorry there. And I haven't decided, it'll be a vest, and I haven't decided on the neckline. I think it'll have to be inspired by how much yarn I have left and how it fits when I try it on. So because it's bottom up, this is the front hem. I've cast on last night and was working on the back hem, which will be a bit longer. And then I'll keep going up that to hopefully have something to show you more next time we chat. What I was using for the majority of the yarn, which I'm kind of mixing them up, but anyways, we'll keep on with the green. I'll go back and I'll tell you what the yarns were for here. But with the green, it's very cool. Can you see those lovely colors together? Oh, so beautiful. So this is Chelsea Luxe Duet. And I bought this years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, but I do know that she still makes these duets in all of her amazing colors. And the duet for me is colored camouflage. And in the duet package, you've got 1 skein of mohair and 1 skein of this sort of boucle. It's really great. And Christina, I'm sure you all know Christina and her lovely yarn dyeing. Really good. She's got a wonderful palette. So I'm working on with that and then holding alongside my workhorse, which is what I was using to show you for the Stephen West one. This is Holst Garn Olive, dark olive in the Supersoft base. So I'm working on that to be my 3rd version of this series. This one here is knit with quite different yarn, and very similar to the first one. So the first one was knit using big Cormo from La Bien-Aimée, held with Supersoft just as, again, the workhorse yarn and to hold its shape. This one is using Big Birdie from Diamond Lane, which is part of, whenever I say Diamond Lane, I always forget the other name, the Lamb & Kid. So Diamond Lane is very similar in structure to Big Cormo, sorry, from La Bien-Aimée. I think the main difference is one has a silk core and one has a wool core, and I can't remember which one's which. They're both lovely, and you can't go wrong. So this is Big Birdie in the color Midge, held together with another Supersoft from Holst in the color Aubergine. So that's really great, and it's just so cozy. When I first finished this, it was quite chilly. We'd sort of had a little blast of another winter, and I'd been wearing the tunic vest a lot, and so it was fun to be able to wear this. I did do folded up sleeves. I've got to just tuck in my, you You can see it there. I didn't do a great job with the ends. I'll do that again later, just fix that. But I wanted a cuffed sleeve just for a little bit of style. I think that's really fun. And it's a straight sleeve. Yeah, so those are my 3 finished objects, and I'm really, really, really pleased with them. And I'm so pleased that I finished this now because it's just perfect for these days. So I'm going to pause again here and then just shift, because I had so much stuff this time to talk to you about. I'm going to shift some things and shove some things, shift and shove some things around on the desk or the kitchen counter, and finish up with what I'm knitting on now. So again, one sec, back in a minute. Okay, I'm all set. I've left this version on the mannequin because it's really pretty, and you can see that the Gossamer is returned in its place for now. So anyways, so what I'm working on, I've been really inspired. I have so many ideas. I have so many half patterns written up, half designs written up downstairs, and I just can't knit fast enough. So you've seen these before. We'll start with some sort of quick ones. This is just a vanilla sock. I think I've decided to make these shorties again. This is from Biscotti, really fun yarn. And it's called the Bis Sock Color Sweet Dream. And look at all those fun colors in there. Isn't that great? Really fun. And the socks are knitting it really beautifully. I love how there's sort of a regular stripe pattern going on with a break. It's really fun. So, you know, sort of, I think it's 3 black stripes with a yellowish broken with a really fun mixed colors. And back to the 3 or 4 black stripes. Really fun. I'm excited with that. That's really great. That will get finished. There's no rush for that. Continuing with socks, I really love Summer Lee's Colorwork Cuff Club. And I've been working on many of them. I've done many of them in the past. I'm finishing up the March ones. I think they're so cute. Here's the heel. This shows me how many stitches I do, 64 inches, 64 stitches, not inches. That would be a big foot. For my feet, I love the heel tab and gusset. I do find that's the best fit for me, hands down. And I love her colorwork charts. So I've done one sock and I'm working on the other. For these, I love Magpie Fiber's Swanky Sock. Magpie Fiber had an amazing sale a couple weekends ago, 2 weekends ago, and I did take advantage of that. So hopefully something will be coming soon because I love the Swanky Sock. They're just, so I got some more colors that I just thought would go with my clothes to be the base color. And then of course I have a ton of scraps. I do have sock blockers. I just never remember to bring them out. I put them away so neatly because I never use them. And now I have a podcast and I should use them. But anyway, so that's the sock. I love her socks. I love her designs. I love her colors. So I ordered some more of sort of my favorite base solid colors that would go with my clothing. And then I have a ton of scraps. I've got tons of little balls of sort of sock yarn. And, you know, of course, if it's on the cuff, it doesn't have to have nylon or anything like that. So you can have fun with those colors. So I feel like I'm really I'm ready for the next set. We're probably almost halfway through because it started in August. So I would imagine we're at the halfway point. Anyways, all exciting, really good. The April ones have just been published. I'm really excited about those. So I need to finish the March. I don't really care how long the vanilla socks, the biscotti socks, they're great. But I kind of want to try and keep up a bit more with the Summer Lee socks. So another thing that I've been knitting on is an old pattern of mine, which is called the Chalice Vine sweater. Oh. Okay. I don't think you can hear her that much when she's out back. So this is the Chalice Vine sweater. I published this a few years ago and it had sort of puff sleeves and some lace on the sleeves and at the cuff, the hem, I should say. And I liked it at the time. I would like to see this a little bit more simple. I've done this a bit more oversized. It'll probably be a tee because I think I'm really running out of yarn in the main color here. This was just kind of like a cast on that I just felt like casting on, and I didn't spend a lot of time on making sure I had enough yarn. It was a creative impulse. The chalice vine plant is beautiful. It was in bloom. I walked by some. I took pictures of some. Maybe I hold it up like this so you can sort of see the plant. In reality, I should have maybe started the yellow here and worked up. This is from Freya Yarns. It's one of those ombre yarns that they're so good at. This is the band. I have literally nothing left except for some scraps that weren't transitioning quickly enough. I did a little yarn color management. Okay, give it a break, Lynn. I don't know if I should film this section. I'm gonna assume that she's gonna move on. Anyways, I should have probably done it, but that would mean that I would have had to have knit the whole sweater from the bottom up. And I wasn't really keen on that because of course I didn't know then. Okay, Luna, calm. You know what? I'm going to redo this. You know what? She stopped. That's so crazy. Anyways, so apologies again for Luna barking, but I keep on getting messages from people that they don't really mind and they think Luna's cute. So I hope you're one of them. Yeah, so this is just a kind of creative, impulsive, I'm just trying to get to the front here, cast on. I should have maybe knit it bottom up just to have the yellow down here, which is more like the chalice flower, and gone green up here. But again, this was impulsive. It was fun. I don't really care. I have had this Freya yarn for a long time and I've been playing with it and wanting to use it so much. So that's that. So that, not rushing. The main color, oh, what is the color of the Freya yarn? I need to add this to my notes because I couldn't. I bought it at Nitty City in New York City. And I think the color, what I'm reading here, is Aztec. So again, really cool yarn. I've seen it at different trade shows, but I didn't want to buy more until I'd used this one up. So I'm free now. That's the theory. The main color was this yarn that I bought on a cone at Rhinebeck like years ago, pre-pandemic. And I was really drawn in by this color. Like, look at all this crazy, like, it's got highlights and lowlights and it just grabs the light, the sun. And I thought it was really spectacular. And I literally went in to buy it. It's comfort cloth weaving 10 mile line. So I think it's actually a weaving yarn, which is why I have blocked this, because I wanted to make sure that it sort of relaxed and was nice, because it's a different texture than a lot of yarns I knit with. It is a cone. It said it had 600 yards. I don't really have anything that I can gauge this off of. So it's just kind of like a whim. I'm going to probably have to find something for maybe cuffs and hem. And that's going to be a bit of a trick. I mean, maybe charcoal. That might look a little bumblebee-ish. If I can find any yellow, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But this color is so unique and so cool. So we'll see how that comes. I've got my fingers crossed that I can get it over the finish line and something successful. But it might also be something that I leave at this stage for a while until I have a clear thought. Or I work on and just wait till something comes on if I really run out of yarn. So that's sort of really unlike me, to be honest. I'm kind of chuffed with myself to think that I'm going to be cool with that. And I kind of really am. So we'll see where it goes. It's a choose your own adventure. Oh, and I'm not right now feeling the puff sleeves with the lace. So it'll be tea, it'll be boxier, it'll be simpler, and then it'll just be, hopefully, this I want to be the majority. The inspiration for the colors and everything, does everyone follow, and I hope you do, Margot Chen on Instagram? her use of color is amazing. She also photographs in beautiful, I think, sort of golden hour. So her photography skills and her lighting skills are amazing. But her use of color is really great. And how she knits colorwork yoke sweaters is really beautiful. The proportions that she seems to stick with, no matter what design it is. Really good. So that, I would say that this was definitely, I know this was definitely inspired by Margot Chen. And if you haven't been following her on Instagram, oh, Luna, if you haven't been following her on Instagram, I would recommend it. And I'm making a note here to add her name, and hopefully I can link it to her Instagram account so everyone else can enjoy her beautiful color choices and photography and everything like that. She's really inspirational. Okay, so let me just see. Vanilla socks. So we talked about the other version of this that's in the what I'm working on, and then the final one. Calling it mango tea, and it's not going to be completely obvious because it's turquoise. So Beth, why are you calling it mango tea? And it looks like a tube top, not even. Anyways, it looks like nothing. It's a t-shirt using a beautiful yarn is my inspiration. I bought this last year when I was on the Grocery Girls trip to Alaska, and it's really cool. And I'm gonna have to keep these little tags because it says, I can't read it upside down, but it's from Untangled Yarn and Fiber from, oh, Luna, Ketchikan, Alaska. Amazing. But I just thought this was such a beautiful yarn. So it's a silk, one of the silk that is more of a, I don't want to say rough, it's a more of a natural silk. It's the silk that is, hopefully it's on this label here too, Bourette. It's a Bourette silk. So it's a different texture than sort of the other way of making silk where the chrysalis get harmed, where this is more eco-friendly, but it creates quite a different texture. I love this texture. And last summer I was kind of on a bit of I was intrigued by this. So I was looking for this silk texture in the different manufacturers. So this is a really wonderful Wonderland Yarns, really wonderful color yarn dyeing company. And I was thrilled to see that. I also, on that trip, and I'm buying summer yarns in Alaska, but I bought what I'm using as the contrasting color, which is Knitting for Olive. I didn't buy this, I bought this in Toronto, but anyways, Knitting for Olive, color Mandarin, I believe, in the pure silk, and one from La Vienna Make. I really wanted to try these yarns, so I have some stash. Anyways, this is a top-down tee. Again, it's going to be drop sleeve. That's what I'm interested in right now. And the reason I'm calling it the mango tee is because I think these are kind of cool colors together. It's just sort of the color of a mango in my mind. But also the shape of it was completely inspired by this t-shirt under here by Mango. I have had this t-shirt for so long. I don't know how long Mango has been around or that I've been aware of Mango, but I would say this t-shirt is as old as my 17-year-old kid, if that's possible. Conservatively, I could say 10 years. It's getting a bit threadbare, which means that it hangs and drapes so beautifully, but there's gonna be a day that I'm gonna like bust through it or rip it and catch it or something like that. But I love how this sleeve, very boxy. Oh, she's not cooperating today. I'm so sorry. Luna, enough. Luna. Here, come take your bone. Too much barking. Come take your bone. Okay, go lie down. Good girl. Oh, such a good girl. Yes, there she is. Oh, stick the bone back out to bark at someone. Anyways, and I can't close the door. It's just too humid, and we don't have the air conditioning on yet. Anyway, so the fit of this sweater. So this is just one big box with a small sort of cuff here, and I love it. There's nothing at the bottom, but yarn will probably dictate how I finish the hem in what color. And it's just a really simple collar. a thin collar. I'll probably make it a bit wider. It's a simple navy collar at the top. But the fit of this t-shirt is amazing. And that's why when we were talking about magic numbers 2 episodes ago, you know, this is literally take your favorite top and copy the fit and the dimensions of it. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah, and so it's basically, it's an in the round, top down, contiguous method. I did take a class when I was at Vogue Knitting. I understood this process very well, but I had a few like questions to make it perfect, the fit perfect. Took a class with a lady named Vivi Bazile, and she is amazing. If you can ever take a class from her online or in person, amazing. She's Brazilian. Anyways, she taught us just and helped me find the different tweaks for shaping in this contiguous method, this top down. I'm really excited. I've been itching to try it. I'm trying it. I'm loving it. And it really has, my question was answered immediately in the class. I'm using just a very narrow 2-stitch sort of shoulder kind of raglan effectively, with twisted stitches for the increases. The marker right now is in the center front. When I go to split this into a front panel, a back panel for the sleeves, I think I'll add stripes in this. They'll be sort of thin stripes, more thicker stripes of the turquoise, thinner stripe of the orange. I also am excited to, sooner rather than later, pick up around the neck in the orange. And of course the orange will be the arm cuff here. And I'm leaving the hem until the end and we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's lovely. This yarn is really nice to knit with. I really enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's not, there's no elasticity. It is a you know, a non-wool material, but it feels lovely to work with, and I can't wait to try and wear it. So that's why last summer when I was traveling, I was able to pick up some so that I could really, this summer, work with it and use it. My real favorite summer weight yarn, though, I have to say, is Sandnes Garn Lena, which I believe Drops Bell is the exact same thing. And I think I might place an order and just get a sweater quantity of that or t-shirt quantity to try it. But the Sandnes Garn Lena is so great because it's a summer weight tee. I perspire a lot. I can wear it once, maybe twice, depending on how hot I had gotten that day. And I can literally put it in the washing machine and the dryer, and it's brand new the next day. So that is really important for heat. Luna agrees, and she did take her bone outside, and she's not got it in her mouth. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there I'm gonna leave it there. We're gonna go now from Luna taking care of the street to some calm picture or video of a lovely beach. I just stood there, well, Luna and I stood there for about 1.5 minutes. I don't think I'll add anything else. I just think it was beautiful and calm. I'm hoping that the sound is not as good so that you can hear the birds and the waves and everything like that, because that's really part of the peacefulness of it. If there's a lot of the noise of the wind, that sort of muffled sound that isn't beautiful to hear, then I will put music on over it. But hopefully it's not wind. Hopefully it's just the sort of the sea coming in and out, the waves, and then that'll be lovely and relaxing. I hope you're all well. I look forward to seeing you or talking to you in 2 weeks. That's a Kiskadee, right there. Yeah, right in the tree in front of our house. That's a very, very Bermuda sound, the Kiskadee. Not a chickadee, but a Kiskadee. Anyway, so I'll leave you there. I never like to say it, but if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And as everyone sort of explains, and it goes without saying, not goes without saying, I think it's important to understand it does help. The more people, little likes, the more subscriptions, the more YouTube shows these videos on. So, and that's just great. Yeah, so have a great 2 weeks, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye.